Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Friday night here at the Heart of Homeschooling show. How are you tonight, partner? Sig, I need you to unmute your mic, my friend. So
Sorry,
excited today.
I know. I actually muted it earlier, but Cher, it's so nice to be going live with you for the first time tonight, and I'm really feeling great. We have two wonderful guests, and what more but two really also seasoned homeschoolers talking to us about homeschooling at the same time, working full time. So I am really excited
Super
to do this
excited.
tonight with you. Yeah.
Exactly. With everything that's going on right now, again, the show was born during the pandemic, right? And we
Yes.
really want to address the concerns of a lot of fellow parents out there who may or may not be thinking of homeschooling. And we know this is one of the questions that we get asked all the time, right?
Hmm.
If I'm a working parent, meaning I have to go to the office or have a business that I have to attend to, is homeschooling even possible for someone like me? So uh, today I'm looking forward to taking down a lot of notes. I will
Yeah.
look for my pen and paper.
I've got one ready. Yeah.
So all of you, if you don't have those ready, I suggest you do get that. And again,
Mhm.
thank you for joining us. We do have our drinks. Sig, what are you drinking today?
Oh, I'm having chamomile tea tonight.
Wow. So it's going to be, again, a conversation amongst parents. It's going to be something that is really geared towards just giving you tips and tricks and, sharing experiences so that we can all learn
Mhm.
from our guests today. Again, if you want to reach out to us and, let us know what you want us to talk about, check out actually the QR codes at the bottom of the screen. That's where you can
Mhm.
reach us. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and you're seeing us on YouTube as well tonight. We are at the Heart
Right.
of Homeschooling. So if you want to, us to discuss a certain topic, please reach out to us, and we're gonna make sure to tackle that for all of you. So, Sig, you know these ladies a little bit more than me, and I think it'll be awesome to be able to hear about them before we formally bring them on board. So, uh, partner, do you want to tell them about our guests today?
Sure. So tonight we'll be joined by two Denises. So what are the chances we'll have two guests with the same name, right? Just with a slightly different spelling. But anyway, and their last names both start with P as well. So I guess we're gonna have to address them with their full names share later when we're asking the questions so that we'll know exactly who we'll be talking to whom. So, but anyway, we will be joined by Denise Pena and Denise Price. Okay, so quickly, just a brief background. Denise Pena is also, well, she's a homeschooling mom. She's also a full time employee. She's actually in the IT industry and she has four kids, but currently she's homeschooling too. So we'll see how actually that's actually something I'm really curious about, you see, because it's not really your time if you're, if you're an employee. So you're actually committed to the company that you work for. So I don't know how she will juggle that and how she juggles it for the past how many years already. So we'll find out more about that later from her. And of course, our other guest is Denise Price. She, on the other hand, is an entrepreneur. So she runs Lily Moms, which is a company that sells Catholic products. So you'll see that later on. And actually, she'll be doing a giveaway. So that's something that we should catch.
Stay tuned,
Uh, you
guys.
know, yes, we should watch out for. So those who are tuning in now, do stay until the rest of the show because we will have that. Okay, so she's also mom to five kids. Yeah, and then of course she doesn't only run Lily Moms. I understand that she also has other businesses with her husband, who also happens to be called Paul, same as my husband. But anyway, so that's a brief background for the two of our guests tonight. So we will, of course, get into the details later on when we have them join us in a few seconds.
All
So
right,
back
all
to
right.
you, Shay.
Before we introduce them, let's say hello to a couple of our friends who are joining us on Facebook. Hello to
Oh,
just Crystal, Miss Crystal. No, I have to say Miss Crystal. Thank you for learn from our guest speakers. Thank you very much. We hope you have your drink with you because we are going to need it today as we have that conversation. Again, if
Mhm.
you do have questions for our guests as we start talking to them, you can drop them in the comments either on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're viewing this show, and we'll make sure that it gets addressed during the episode. So let's bring on our guests, and we are gonna say hi to more of our Facebook
Yeah.
viewers in a
See
little
us
bit.
there.
Let's see who we. All right, let's say hello to two Denises. I don't know we're gonna ask them questions tonight, Sig, but good luck
Oh,
to
hello.
all of us. So let's welcome Mrs. Price and Miss Pena. I
Oh,
think
that's a nicer way to call them, actually.
that's good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Hello.
Hi,
Welcome to
Hi
the show.
guys.
Denise.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks for
So
having
Okay.
us.
to have both of you here tonight. Thank you for joining us. As we can already see, a lot of people are looking forward to learning from the both of you. We
Mhm.
have actually we have our pens and paper ready, but we first want to know, what are you girls drinking tonight? Parang we're drinking something illegal. What are you drinking tonight?
Oo nga.
I'm St. Zed.
Oh,
Chamomile
Oh,
tea. Yeah.
oh, we're the same.
awesome.
Cheers.
How about you? How about you, Mrs. Price?
This is just water, but special mention. This is a Lily Mom sticker. It says Fiat on it. So for Mama Mary, yeah, this was my watercolor painting designed into a sticker. So yeah,
Oh,
just water.
nice. I am a customer of Holy Hug, so we like Mrs. Price's products, but we'll get into that a little bit. So, ladies, Sig kind of introduced you a little bit before we got you onto to the show, but maybe you can also give us a little bit of a background or as to, I guess, how well, we know what you do in general. Perhaps you might wanna just give us a little bit more detail about that, just so people have an understanding of what
Mhm.
exactly you ladies normally face, career wise, work wise, and later on we'll transition to having known all of that, right? What was the process that you guys went through as we now move on to homeschooling? But we want to hear a little bit more about you ladies. So do you want to say maybe just a little bit
Mrs.
about
Pena, you can go ahead. Ang formal eh.
Thank you, Mrs. Price.
The Mrs. Peace.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead,
A,
Denise.
a little about me. I guess my work first, no?
Mm-hmm.
So I am an IT business relationship manager. Basically, that's accounts management for internal IT customers. So, we get the business demand and translate it for the internal IT team in a nutshell. So that's the work.
She's
all right.
techie that way.
And then try to
Woo.
understand. It's so complex. It's so technical. But we got that, I think. How about you, Mrs. Price? Could you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, so Lily Moms is a 14-year-old business. We started with the breastfeeding cover way back then, but it has pivoted to Catholic products, and I'm based at home. For now, we're a sole proprietor. We're thinking of incorporating in the maybe next year, but I just do my business at home. So everything from social media. Right now, it's just me packing, delivering, taking photos. I'm very new to social media, although Lily Moms is 14 years old now. So, ako lahat. Although my husband is a great help, he helps with like, can you drive me here and stuff like that, no? So, yeah, but that business is based at home for now. And yeah, I really love it because it just allows me flexible time.
Mhm. Wow,
Fantastic. But
that's
so we're
wonderful.
assuming, before again we move on to the process, right? We're assuming Mrs. Pena, ang hirap kasi ni Denise and Denise, right? Secret, we gave ourselves like a harder time for this
I
episode.
know.
We
We
decided
thought it was cute at first, but okay.
Level up challenge. Yeah.
so are we are so are you working from home right now with
Yeah.
with your job? Are you, or do you need to go to the office already?
No, I'm working from home now. So I think we're slated to go back to the office baka late next year pa, or mid next year. So we're not required. But before that, yeah, I have to go to the
Yes.
office.
And
Mhm.
from what Sigrid said earlier, right? You are already homeschooling. So are we right to assume that you were already homeschooling prior to the pandemic, prior to you being at home?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I've been homeschooling for 10 years.
So okay,
Yes,
expert
yes, right.
na. Okay, so you
Her eldest,
Newbie, newbie, newbie.
Yes.
okay, so 10
Denise
years
Penny's
then.
kids are, I think her eldest is 12. So basically, right? So she
Turning
started
13, yeah.
13. So
Turning 13.
when she was, or he was a toddler, she already started homeschooling. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So okay, that's really great. So we are assuming it's a Monday to Friday, the normal office, hour kind of setup for you, right? Okay. I just wanted to put that into context. So when, again, our viewers, start getting into the conversation with us, that we understand that, kasi baka sabihin niya, "Okay, baka consultant lang naman si Mrs. Peña. So it really doesn't apply that she's a full-time, you know what I mean? So guys, yes, when we say full-time working parent, right? So she needed to go to the office, but she was still, homeschooling. She decided to homeschool, and now she is working from home, but she's still homeschooling. And of course, Mrs. Price, even though you're saying that you're working at home, we are assuming that your schedule must be, kasi di ba pag entrepreneurs, the Sigrid knows this also, I think, right? When you own your own
Mas
business,
crazy.
diba?
Oo, oo. Because
Correct.
you're doing
That's
everything.
the E
I
myth.
really want, yeah, I really want a hands-on approach as I'm building the business. No, kasi I want to be able to teach it later on. So now I know how to invoice, I know how to pack, I know how to, inform the customer. So I need to learn all of these processes, the operation, so that when we do get employees, no, kaya na, ganon.
Mhm.
Okay,
The
so
systems are
tama
in
si Sigrid,
place. So
e-myth yun na Sig.
Yeah, the entrepreneur myth. No, it's not actually your time; it's your client's time. Yeah,
That's
but
right. That's right. So we are gonna say hello to a couple more viewers that
yes.
are joining us tonight. Again, thank you so much for spending your evening with us and spending part of your weekend with us. So thank you to Tina. Hi Tina. Good evening to you.
Yes.
We also have, may hello daw. Hello, Denise Peña. May mga crowd ano to ah.
Hello, Tina.
Party. So hello. We also want to say hello to Teacher Grace. Hi, Teacher
Yes.
Grace. Good evening to you. So, ladies, we are live right now again. To all of our viewers on Facebook and YouTube, if you do have questions for our guests this evening, we have a seasoned homeschooler, 10 years and counting, right? We have a very busy business owner who is also homeschooling her children. Now's the best time, I guess, to let them know what your concerns are. If there are any um, fears that you have and you're thinking about homeschooling, I guess these ladies with their experiences can address that for you. So we're going to go on to Sig, who is going to be asking the first question in your journey. Kasi alam ko 10 years and counting, it's not going to be very easy for us to talk all of that, right? About all of that tonight. So
Mhm.
we have very specific, I guess, areas that we want to share with our viewers.
Mhm.
And Sig is going to guide us through some of those questions this evening.
Yeah.
So, take it away, partner.
Sure. Actually, there's one question I want to ask both of them, but I guess it goes without saying that obviously these ladies are out to prove that homeschooling and working at the same time is possible. So that is a question that we had earlier in the show, right, Cher? And now we are actually here in the flesh. We have two ladies who are proving that can be done. But I think my first question for both of you really is, what was thought process for you like? I presume that you didn't really stop working when you decided, of course, when you gave birth, but when you decided to actually go into homeschooling, you were working beforehand and probably you were still working even after. But what, perhaps let's backtrack a bit and try to think about how the thought process was like for each of you ladies. What made you decide to get into homeschooling, knowing fully well that it's the parent who really is in charge of educating your children, right? So perhaps let's start with Denise Pena. I'd like to hear how it was like for you.
Well, sige, actually, when we first started thinking about homeschooling, I just returned to work.
Okay.
So, um, yeah, I just returned to work. And I was looking for preschools for my
Mhm.
then 3-year-old. And parang ano, I wasn't super convinced. Also, at that time, no, new mom, and I had super, super duper high standards. So I was saying, well, there must be other options out there. I was looking at some of the blogs, and then I saw na parang, oh, what's this homeschooling thing? Medyo bago-bago pa nun yung homeschooling. These are blogs from the US. So, uh, I joined the groups. Nandun na yung homeschoolers of the Philippines Facebook group. I think Rockers was also there already. And I saw that other people were doing it. So I was thinking, why not, 'di ba? Parang it was parang the thinking really was, let's experiment. Anyway, he's 3. I decided to experiment on my 3-year-old. Sorry, kid. But
Guinea pig.
I mean, medyo naginipig siya. Pero parang in the grand scheme of things, it was kind of low risk because he was 3. If it didn't work out, then we could enroll him when he's 4, di ba? Um, and parang that's how we keep thinking of it year after year. It's an ongoing experiment. As long as it keeps working, then it keeps working. Pero as the years went by din kasi, I mean, we saw some of the benefits also to our family. Um, and that's why we kept doing it. So, the amount of time that the kids have to play, to rest. I was super big on that. And also choice, because I wanted the chance to be able to make real decisions for how my kids will be educated to the detail. Medyo type A din kasi ako nun. So yun, that is the thinking around it. And every year we continue to review and see if it continues to work for us.
Mhm. And I guess it still has because you're still at it.
I'm still at it. I
And you,
still
Yeah. Okay, let's hear it from Denise Price naman. How was it like for you? I heard a little bit of your backstory from before the show, but I am sure our audience would like to listen it straight hear from it from you straight.
All right. Thanks, Sigs. Actually, no,
Sure.
homeschooling began when my husband and I got married 17 years back, and we spent the first 2 years of our married life in South Africa on mission. And while we were going around South Africa, we were hosted in Cape Town by a couple. Hi, Brian. Hi, Marie Humans, who had at that time 5 kids, pregnant with the sixth. And we were sleeping in their garage that they turned into a classroom. It was so nice. Tapos nung kumain na kami, lunchtime, we were in their kitchen. Their whole wall was full of Greek mythology. Siyempre, type A din ako, Denise. So I'm like, ano yan? What's that? No? So that's where they introduced us with homeschooling. It was such a foreign thing to me. Kasi, di ba, usually, oh, you take them to the big schools here in Manila and then that was it, no? But that was like, oh wow, our eyes were open then. And that was also the time that Lily Moms connected talaga, Lily Moms was born because the breastfeeding wrap that I was using while on mission, I didn't like. So when we came home to Manila, I made one, and that's how Lily Moms was born. And always, always, Lily Moms was a sideline for 10 years. It was a sideline, but then homeschooling kept coming back and forth. What do you think, should we homeschool? So we would venture into different providers. You would go to their question and answer days, and what do they do. And somehow it never clicked until 4 years ago. It was a decision to go bring Lily Moms full time and to homeschool. So those two were really what brought us to that final decision finally that started 17 years back. No? I felt like the calling or the lead to homeschool was already planted way back then. So finally, we pulled the trigger back 4 years ago and started homeschooling only our twin daughters. Yeah, so we started with kinder with them. So yeah, that's our story.
Oh wow. And
Interesting.
then you gradually homeschooled everybody else, right? So right now you're
Well,
homeschooling.
we have five. Yeah, no, no, the five kids. The kuya is grade 10 kasi. So we said, why don't you just stay there? So because that's
Mhm.
graduating already and,
Mhm.
moving on to college, right? So the four are homeschooled. So that's a grade 9, grade 7 the boys. And then the twin girls are grade 3.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's
Dami! Well, not compared to your Sig.
ganun pa rin.
Konti lang yung kino-homeschool ni Mrs. Price. But can you just pick up,
Dami, oo.
how challenging was that? I mean, because you mentioned that the same time that you decided to go full time with your business was also the same time that you decided
Yeah.
to homeschool and like
Crazy,
nurturing
no?
not just the same as having a child, right? So
Yeah.
for you to decide to really go at it full time, I mean, kasi sinabi na ni Miss Pena, ako, type A. That's si Miss Price, type A then. I mean, you homeschooling ba? Because again,
Pang type.
I've just been doing it for about over a year, so I guess I'm the super newbie here, right? Is it really just for type A parents?
Of
Is that
course
something?
not.
I mean,
Of
what
course
what
not.
was it? What was it? What did you guys find? I don't know because before when Sig was talking about it, she was saying she really prayed about it. There was a lot of discernment that needed to happen, right? What was it? Because I'm sure apart from you girls or ladies knowing that you girls were type A, that you could handle maybe the load. What was it really in you that convinced you that maybe this is really the way to go? I mean, sabi ni Mrs. Pena, it was okay because I was just kind of experimenting. Actually, my son pa rin, experimenting with my son. But I'm sure, along the way of the experiment, there was something that convinced you, and knowing that you girls are career women in different ways, right? What was it that really pulled the trigger? I mean, it caused you to pull the trigger and then transition to that. And based on that and how you made that transition, I mean, how did you, kind of get into the entire lifestyle? Um, how was it transition for you ladies for from traditional or or some mixed I guess blended learning into homeschooling?
Shall I go first? So for us, no, for Paul and I, when we really decided about it, talagang we have to be one and in that decision because homeschooling 4 years ago was still fairly new. It's like the oddball, ha? Hindi Ateneo anak mo? Ha? Hindi Savior? Ha? Hindi Lasal? Ano yan? 'Di ba? What animal is that homeschooling? And but you've done your research that it feels like it fits you. It feels like home. It feels like parang pwede, no? So I will be at home. We will have our businesses at home. So I can create my own schedule to be able to do that. Believe me, it's not easy. It's not like, oh, I can homeschool and I can have a business. Ooh, no. There's a lot of shouting sometimes, a lot of iyakan, but still, I will choose it every time I have that given that option. It's really it was a fit that we decided to say yes to and put our foot down to. So um other than that, all the other noise around us was just noise. So we pulled the trigger. We decided as a family, this is what we will do. And up to now, this is where we are.
Mhm.
So it was a family, husband and wife decision.
Yeah, I guess it has to be, right? Because, of course, both of you have to be involved in some way, either as a lead and as a support in some way. So there has to be some sort of mutual agreement between the spouses if you do decide to homeschool. What about for Denise, Anya? How was it like for you transitioning? I mean, of course, you started very early on in homeschooling your children.
Yeah. What really pulled the trigger for us, why we get it was the time, the time spent with my son, actually. 'Di ba nga, I just returned to work at that time. Before that, I was super hands-on. And to be honest, parang that relationship was at 3 years old was not something I was maybe ready to let go of just yet. Just yet. Now he's fully grown. He's done. Okay. Pero parang at that time, di ba? So parang I think yun na nga, parang the opportunity that homeschooling provided for building parang such strong relationships, that I think that was what really sold us onto it. In terms of transition, well, the kids didn't have to transition from anything. No? Pero for me, it was talagang schedule management and energy management. Actually, energy management more than schedule management. Kasi schedule, to be honest, you can do homeschooling anytime. You can do it early in the morning, lunch, evening, ganyan. But the energy, my goodness, tsaka the, parang yung shift, yung naka-work mode ka, and then,
Yeah.
oops, sandali lang, family mode
Yeah.
na ngayon. So parang, that takes a little bit of getting used to. So parang you kind of have to develop a few strategies to manage both your time and your energy. So
Mm.
rocky road, pero go lang. Mukhang
So,
okay
Okay,
pa naman.
let's.
Mrs. Pana, I just want to confirm as well. Ang hirap talaga, parang we're late. But because Denise Price, Mrs. Price said the and Sigrid also, I guess, echoed it that for a lot of homeschooling families, the I guess not the agreement between spouses is really very important. Was that something that you also had to go through? Did your husband need a lot of convincing, sort of, to for you to choose that method of education for your son then, or was it an easy like I want to homeschool him, so let's go ahead and let's just do it? Was it an easy conversation, or did it take a long time, or how was that?
With my husband, actually, it was easy. With him, he was. I'm super lucky there. I know he was and he continues to be very supportive of it.
That's nice.
Pero yes, at the same time, we also have to look at parang the individual needs then of each child. So while he and I continue to be advocates of homeschooling, parang every year when we make the decision to homeschool particular children, we also take into consideration if they have any particular needs for the year na homeschooling may not be able to provide.
Yeah.
Yun.
Actually, this is an interesting question. Taking off from that, uh, share. Would you like to also read
Yes.
it? This.
Let's go first with the question, because it's so timely. We're talking about dads and
Mhm.
husbands and the role that they play, or they played in your journey, right? So we do have a question from Paul, and he asks, right, what would be the role of dads in homeschooling? I understand the decision to go homeschooling should be mutually agreed on by the spouses, but on the day to day, I guess this is a question based on the hypothesis that usually it's the moms that take care of teaching homeschooling. So, what kind of role do dads normally, play on the day to day? Obviously, they're not just people saying yes or sige, Denise, let's go do it. After that,
Ikaw
was
na.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
what roles do they play? I guess in your families.
Mhm.
So sa amin, like I said, we have 5 kids, and the eldest is in, when I said, ano yan, not Ateneo, Xavier, my eldest son is also in one of those traditional schools, no? So I'm saying, not that that's not good, but was it the fit for the four? Lalo na online learning, hindi talaga kaya ng dalawa, hindi nila type, no? But anyway,
Mhm.
so for us, sa amin, si Paul, what number one, he supports me if I need the help, mental, whatever, so like, kaya mo yan, and ganan. I'm his priority, support me. Pangalawa, dun siya kay kuya. So, the traditional school, he's still like, "Are you okay?" Because high school na yun, so malaki na rin, di ba? So, everything all right? Do you need help? Whatever. So, he's there. Paul is also PE teacher, music teacher. So, he does the other subjects like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, but in general, he is also like, not naman herding, no? Not parang bringing them back to me like, oh guys, so listen to your mom and that kind of support. So hindi it's impossible to do alone. It takes a village.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
you're
it
right.
you really need each other's support because sometimes let's I will tell him also I cannot today. I feel sick or something. Then he'll say it's all right. Okay, guys, mom, the ganito. So he will explain. He will don't bother mom or whatever. He's that kind of support guy for homeschooling.
Mhm,
Yeah. So that's his
mhm.
role sa
And
amin.
that's actually a very, very big component of homeschooling. You need to
Mm-mm.
get the support from everyone, I guess, right? So you're right, takes a village and the whole family to do that.
Yes.
What about for Denise? Pena?
So for us, he teaches specific subjects. So he teaches Filipino and math to
Oh,
our
wow.
fourth grade.
Wow.
I kind
Usually
of
math,
gave up.
ano?
I
Bakit
gave
kaya?
up on Filipino and no, actually to be really honest, kasi it also goes to schedule. My fourth grader kasi can do parang her day is already scheduled. She can do it independently. But there are particular things that she would need help with one-on-one,
Mhm,
and that's Filipino and that's math. And since I'm not actually available during the day,
mhm.
punta siya kay
Mm.
daddy. So, in our plan, nakasulat doon, talk to daddy for Filipino and math. So, yeah, that's
See,
that's
meron
his role.
talagang ganun.
Yeah.
Okay. But actually, it's interesting that you pointed that out. Na you have a schedule because you're not available during the day. I'd want to take the question of Ruth Bemery. I mean, I think this was an earlier topic earlier. Sorry, this is an early topic we had before we moved into the role of dads. But it's really more of how you manage your schedule. But okay, let me read the question here. It says, "Hello, good evening. I have a 4-year-old daughter scouting for preschools now. Homeschooling is definitely an option, but have no idea how it could work, given that my work day is hectic, even with work from home setup. So, who can do the actual teaching aside from the parent? So, has this been a case with either of you, ladies? Did you ever tap into external help aside from your spouse and maybe of course yourself to assist in the homeschooling?
So far, no. So we started with the girls, no, the twin girls, and kinder, grade
Mhm.
1, grade 2, grade 3. Kaya ko pa yung math. Wala pa yung geometry. Ganon.
Math talaga.
Just keeping it real. but my high schooler si Matthew, for grade 9. For now he can do it by himself. So there are a lot of people in homeschooling groups where you can ask help from.
Mhm.
Like I said, it takes a village, but it doesn't necessarily have to be just your house. So there are many other people that you can really ask help from. Like kahit phonics pa lang parang what is this picture sometimes? Hindi ko maintindihan tong drawing na to. I will actually picture it and ask, what is this? So, okay, sige. So, there's a lot of people who you can get help from. Yeah, so it
Mhm.
doesn't have to
That's
be
true.
all you all the time.
Mhm.
And
Right.
if I may also maybe just help answer the question of Ruth, um, you last week, sorry, last episode we did have the privilege of having the president of Happy, the Homeschool Association of Philippine Islands, as our guest. I'm sorry, was that
Black.
or the first? Yeah. So last
It
episode,
was this. Yeah, last
right?
episode. Blacksby
So
was on our show.
yes, that's right. So Laxmi at that during that episode did share with us that compared to how it was a couple of years ago, where there weren't a lot of options for support for homeschooling parents. Today we are quite lucky. because aside from, let's say, your informal co-op, which is a group of parents coming together, right? They can be your extended family or friends that you do activities
Yeah.
together. There are formal, I guess, study centers, learning centers, or support groups that can help assist you in teaching certain lessons or maybe going through certain curriculum, depending on your needs. And this is something that is already widely available in the country. So I guess that's also one thing that we can share with busy parents, whether you're working from home or you have to commute to the office, regardless of the age of your child. There are options that you can seek for your children. Um, if you don't want to have to go through the formal route of hiring maybe a tutor or learning center to help you, maybe you have like a friend who's very good in math, that may want to help teach the group, your child. I've heard of homeschooling that come together and they schedule a day where this mom or this dad would
Mhm.
teach a certain lesson, right, to free up the other parents for that day, and then they exchange time in the next week or so, depending on their I guess their specialty. Like if someone wants to teach another subject, they do have that as well. So there are options. You know not everything is lost if you are a busy parent working from either your home or the office as well. So just something to
Mhm.
reassure you, Ruth, that it is doable.
If I can add, share, no, if it's a preschool, the load is very light. The load,
Mhm.
like when I was doing homeschooling for the girls, the twin girls for kinder, it would take 2 hours and we're done for the day. So, siguro kung starting lang, like yung experimenting, we did that also. Kaya yon. Parang, lalo na
Mhm.
kung kinder, preschool, you could really find your groove first, no? It's nice to
Mhm.
start early on kasi you can find your own groove. Yun nga yung sasabihin ko
Mhm.
sana later on, sasabihin ko na ngayon. You have to find your own rhythm kasi. So you have to bite the bullet and then find your own rhythm. So
Mhm.
if I myself am crazy work from home also because of this pandemic. Parang there's
Mhm.
no delineation anymore between mommy and
Yeah,
Lily mom's girl, 'di ba? So
you're
it's
right.
hard, but yeah, but knowing your rhythm, okay, mas alam ko na, like last month versus this month, you grow into
Mhm.
homeschooling also. So yeah,
Yeah,
kaya yan.
interesting
Sana
that
ba?
you brought that up, Denise. Because actually, I think the first part of Ruth's question was really how's your schedule like? I mean, for Denise Pena, because of course you're lucky that I guess both of you work from home, but how is it? How is your well? There is you mentioned something about routine and all that, getting your rhythm. I guess that goes as well for the kids. They have to get into a certain routine and a rhythm as well in homeschooling, and it becomes almost like automatic for them to know what to do as they wake up. But for you specifically, moms, what's your schedule like, a typical day like for you? I'm curious.
I think
So
that's a very
Denise Pena, maybe we can start.
I think yeah, I think that's a very interesting topic. But before we have that answer, because I'm sure that's going to be a very robust conversation. This is where the meat
Yes.
of the this is us being deploying already the tips and tricks for
You're
homeschooling.
right.
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get right back into the conversation. We'll be right back, guys.
Stay tuned.
All right, and we are back. We'd like to thank one of the supporters of the show, Para Homeschooling. So they are they Paraf as a system of education. They're more known for their network of schools all over the country, but very recently they have started their homeschooling program. So thank you very much to Paraf Homeschooling for supporting the Heart of Homeschooling show. Guys, if you want to check them out, they are on Facebook at Parent Homeschooling. You can also get in touch with them to have all of your questions answered at marketing at paref.edu.ph. And I think we can drop the address in the comments below so you'll know where to get in touch with them. So thank you very much again, Paref Homeschooling, for supporting this show. So, okay, eto na. We'll get our pens ready. So we gave the moms, the dads as well, who are watching the opportunity to grab their pens while we took a quick break. So can you give us a snippet of how a regular day is, right?
Mhm.
What is a I wouldn't okay. What is a typical? Because I know they're so typical, but what's a regular day for you, ladies? Like now that you're homeschooling more than one child, or how did it change from having one homeschooled child to now having more than one? So how does your day go?
Yeah,
Okay,
Denise.
me?
Bennett. Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
sige. Sige, a few assumptions first before the, the schedule, the actual schedule. So, we actually have help at home, not so much because of homeschooling, but because I was working outside of the home. So the first assumption is somebody is helping with your younger children because you cannot be working, I guess, working 9 to 5 and also be minding a young child. So with that assumption aside, I think you will find my schedule shocking kasi um, oh, shocking. So the mornings are mine. So 6, I wake up at 6. 6 to 8, that's all mine. That's I crochet, I meditate,
Wow.
whatever, di ba? I read, ganyan. That's my putting my oxygen mask first for myself, di ba? For before the
Mhm.
others. 8 to 6 on a weekday is I'm working. I'm just sitting here in front of this computer from 8 to 6. 6 to 8 is the compressed dinner and everything. So ang tanong is, kailan kami nag-homeschool? 8 o'clock na ng gabi.
Oo
Right?
nga.
What's happening? Homeschool lang ka ba, Denise? Okay, so 8:30 to 10:30. So
Wow!
parang that's shocking because bakit 2 oras ka lang nag-homeschool?
Mhm.
'Di
Yeah,
ba? You're
yeah.
only homeschooling for 2 hours. And that's because, okay, so paano to? How to explain? You have to plan in you have to plan in terms of the week, not of the day, right? Kasi of the day, talaga ang naiiwan lang sa'yo na hours is ganun lang talaga ka-content. So, what do I do? I have a first grader and a fourth grader, and the fourth grader does independent work. We have her stuff set up already in Microsoft OneNote, and she does all her work there already. So she has a routine. So what I do is on Sundays, I plan her week. On the weekdays, she does her work. Um, on Saturdays, we do any catch up work that's required, and I consolidate. And when I say planning on Sundays, I mean it's 1 hour planning at most. Why? Kasi all the bigating planning is already done at the start of the year. As in, I spend weeks trying to fix the planning para during the school year, I never have to worry about it again. Kasi there's just no time to do it anymore once the school year starts. So that's kind of pretty important to front load all the planning kasi you don't want na during the day hindi mo alam kung ano yung gagawin mo next.
Mhm.
'Di ba? So parang the plan gives you a chance not to think about what you have to do next or gives you the freedom to break away. Na,
Mhm.
I want to read something else for tonight. 'Di ba? Let's do that.
That's so
And then you can
interesting.
do
I
that.
think
Interesting.
let's just establish as well. Okay, so for those that are joining us for the first time, we also had this conversation prior where we didn't discuss it so much, right? It's like the different types of curriculum or curricula available, right? But we kind of
Yeah.
discussed top level, right? So we know that from the prior episode that there is the boxed curriculum, and
Mhm.
there's curriculum where parents have more flexibility to put together different methods. So,
Mhm.
Mrs. Tanya, just to confirm, are you doing what type of curriculum are you doing for your children? Just so again, more clarity for parents that are considering. Are you
Mhm.
doing a boxed curriculum, or is this something that are you doing like a combination of different types, or are you doing Charlotte like a particular one?
In terms of method, we're leaning towards Charlotte Mason. Pero I'm hesitant kasi to say now talagang we're Charlotte Mason homeschoolers because we're we're very loose. We're very loose. But we like the philosophy, and
Mhm.
we try to follow it. Pero in terms of the resources, the actual books that we use, because nga choice is one of the main things that I like about homeschooling.
Mhm.
I really choose the books. It's one of the non-negotiables for me. Other people will have other non-negotiables, pero for that one, that's why I take so long to plan at the start of the year.
Mhm.
Yun.
I think that's a good tip for for us parents. So many golden nuggets in the conversation so far, but I think that's one of the things. Know what your negotiables are and non-negotiables as you, I guess,
Mhm.
speak to your spouse, or
Yeah.
try to build that village that Mrs. Price is talking about, right? So at least you know
Mhm.
what to be flexible about and what
Mhm.
your absolutes are. So thank you for that tip, Denise. How about you, Mrs. Price?
Okay, ang
With
ganda
the
'no,
tips,
kasi
yeah.
magkaiba kami ni Denise Peña. I'm a boxed curriculum.
Yeah.
We follow Seat
Mhm.
and Home Study from Virginia,
Mhm.
USA, and that
Mhm.
is outlined from day one. Week one, day one, do page one. Week one, day
Mhm.
two, do page two. It's so clear. There's no guesswork. There's no, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do today? I just follow the book. There's a
Mhm.
syllabus for parents. This is what you do. Today you give a quiz. Tomorrow you start on lesson like this. Clear. No,
Mhm.
no, no thinking. In fact, Seaton says you don't need to add. You don't
Mhm.
need to add to this curriculum. We find it extremely sufficient. And I'm
Mhm.
very okay with that. So I just follow. One semester is 9 weeks. It usually takes us maybe 10 or 11 weeks to finish. Siyempre may mga lagging subjects, no? Usually math, mga ganyan, mga long
Mhm.
readings. But otherwise, we're able to follow. My
Mhm.
schedule naman here at home is uh, I'm down by 8 o'clock. That means I've showered, dressed, had my prayer time, and then I work from 8 to 12. Before kasi we used to homeschool in the morning, but then I would rush them because my mind was in the, I need to go to the bank, I need to answer the
Mhm.
email of the other business, I need to do my accounting. So I said, okay, let me finish my work first and then we'll homeschool. So 8 to 12 is my work. We'll have a lunch break. Sometimes, like Denise also, I have help and sometimes I don't. So sometimes like this past few weeks, I've been cooking also. So it's like, pero kaya yan. Okay. So anyway, we cook, and then after that, our homeschooling is 1:30 to 4. So like Denise is 2 hours, I'm 2.5 hours. Tama ba? 2:30, 2:30, 3:30. Yeah, 2.5 hours
Two and
for
a
the
half.
four
Yeah.
kids. Hmm. It's actually longer because apat eh.
Mhm.
So, but
Mhm.
otherwise, kaya naman yun ng 1:30 to 4. And then 4 to 6, I will still wrap up maybe some of the things I didn't finish yet. Dinner, prepare dinner. And then even up to 8, sometimes I will still, like, like a mompreneur is like that. 24/7 ang trabaho. So, I will
That's true.
finish. I have an alarm na para tumunog every night. 9 o'clock, go to bed. Just to remind me na tama na, 'di ba? Gano'n.
Yeah.
So, yun.
Actually,
So,
I
that's our schedule naman.
yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
Sig.
interesting. I'd actually like to add to that. For you mentioned cooking, and I did experience homeschooling and working full time outside of the home 2 years ago. And what really helped me was I got a slow cooker. So I
Oh, I like
prepare the
those.
meals. So I didn't have help, so I would prepare the meals in early in the morning. Just pop everything inside the slow cooker, let it run on slow, so it cooks for the next 8 hours. And then the time I get home, which is about 5:30, just take it out and then have some rice and all that. And the kids actually know how to cook rice already, so
And
they
it's
know
like
that's a part
falls
of
off the bone
homeschooling.
soft, diba?
Exact,
Super
fall of the
soft.
bone type of gentle, of softness. So
Yeah.
that's just one tip I learned. Maybe.
But also
Okay.
because
Right.
Sig, because you found that rhythm also, diba?
Mhm, mhm. That's true. So it's really important. I think what we hear from the two moms right here now is really to have your own rhythm, and there's no one fixed way of doing of homeschooling. It really depends on how you're able to find that rhythm within your schedule. Well, for Denise Pena, she homeschools in the morning, but for Denise Bryce, it's homeschooling in the afternoon. So it really depends. It also listens it's also a good thing to actually listen to how your children respond throughout the day. I mean, how are
Exactly.
they? Yeah, especially if you have very young children. I guess if you homeschool toddlers or preschool kids, it's also listening to their moods and how they are. So don't insist, I guess, on one thing if they're not ready for it yet, right? So I think
Exactly.
that all boils down to listening to what the family needs or the circumstances are.
And
So
I
yeah,
think
so just go
uh,
ahead.
what we always hear or so far have heard from the guests that we've had in the show, right? And again, I brought up the comment of Tina here saying that we really need to acknowledge, right, the uniqueness of each child, right, at different stages of their lives, right, which
Mhm.
goes along with I guess, the different requirements and the way that different families are set up. Regardless of where you work. It's not just careers that you're talking about. Denise Penn is talking about the energies as well, right? Can be also
Mm.
core competencies or what you're naturally inclined towards. If you have a dad that's really great with PE, then for then have them take care of PE. Like if you're really not good in math, like which is also my concern with my son who's in junior high, right? I mean, it was really I knew I had to find support for that. And having found that was one of the things that allowed me to be at peace with homeschooling him and knowing that I don't have to teach him things that I wasn't really good at. But I think what we also would like to highlight for families and parents is that there is no one right way to go
Mhm.
about it, in the same way that there's no
Your own.
one right there's no one mold for a child that goes through homeschooling. There is no one curriculum that will fit all of your needs. It's just a recognition that different things may work for different children, for different families. And yes, it can even be in a lot of families that you have mixed learning happening. So uh, it applies to Sig, to Denise here, where myself as well, where some my daughters are in regular school, my son is being homeschooled, and same thing with your children. Some are homeschooled, some are not homeschooled, and us in the show, we always want to take the position where we're not saying that by espousing the homeschooling lifestyle or commitment, we're saying that traditional school is evil. No, we're not saying that, folks.
Yeah.
We're saying that if it
Yes.
works for your family, right, for your child, at this particular stage, then please maybe just get more information to try to see if it can be something that can help them and can help you. All
Mhm.
right.
That is true. Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
so Sig, I know there are other conversations that this episode can lead to, right? Um, do you have one last question for our guests over here? I know there's so much that we can, guys, just the comparison between the schedules of how you
Mhm.
homeschool, I think merits another episode for our
Mhm.
potential homeschooling parents, because I'm sure this is something that a lot of people want to talk about. Kasi parang how do they, like like 8 to 10, right?
Mhm.
And then naman si, ano, si Mrs. Price, iba naman yung schedule in the afternoon, right? And there are some that only do it in the mornings, you know. So in different ways, and yet it works, right? So I think we can
Yeah.
move this conversation forward some more in future episodes. So much more to talk about. But Sig, do you have maybe one last question for our
Yeah.
listeners?
Yeah, actually, what I wanted to ask is, of course, we've had some questions over being passed on, right? But I'm sure there's some other parents out there who are a little bit hesitant to still get into homeschooling. I was just chatting with a parent earlier, and that was her concern. I said, how am I going to do this? I really am in love with the homeschooling approach, but I'm not sure I can do it, and I can't afford to also give up my job. Perhaps maybe some words of advice and maybe a little bit of encouragement from our ladies here, from our moms now. What would you tell them if you were going to be talking to them right now? Actually, you can address them straight. I'm sure some of them are listening and thinking of the same thing right now. What advice would you give them, Denise, Dania?
Siguro, um, I think the misconception is that learning is the same as teaching. Kaya I think there's a
Mm,
lot of concerns na you won't have enough
that's
time to
nice.
teach.
Mm,
I think we need to decouple it and realize na your children are learning all the time. As in, during the day, they are playing.
that's true.
They are, as long as your role, parang you fulfill your role as a parent to be able to make sure they have the resources. You can be one of those resources. Um, you are able to provide them with opportunities for new experiences. You are able to read to them, right? You're able to um, provide emotional support when they're having trouble. Parang all of those, parang the main role of the parent is really to bring the child to the ideas, right? Yeah, Charlotte
Mhm.
Mason. To bring the child to the
Yeah.
ideas, not necessarily to be the master teacher. Yon.
Yes.
So parang um, think of it that way, I guess. And parang maybe ako when I started, di ba nga type A? So I was scheduling the children down to the minute. Can you believe I had schedules na as in 10:05 to 10:10. Parang ganun. Sing Bayang Magiliw. Parang, my goodness, right? So,
Talaga, ha?
so parang I think that was partly from fear. From fear na, oh my God, my child will be left behind if I don't do this. And parang, ang ano is, you know what? Your children are so amazing. They are built for this. They are built for learning. So parang let's move from fear to faith. Faith that they are supported, they are well made, and that you as the parent are being supported on this journey, 'di ba? From your friends, from your family, from God, 'di ba? You are built to
Mhm.
do this. So let's move from fear to faith and try it, 'di ba?
Beautiful,
Amazing.
beautiful message. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
How
I
about
really like that line. Learning is not the same as teaching. That's something I will
Mhm.
take away from today's conversation. What about Denise Price? Any words of encouragement,
Yeah, no.
advice?
So I also had that fear in my good teacher. I never really learned to educate, 'di ba? So kaya ko ba 'yon? I have a legal background. I like painting, but kaya ko ba magturo? But I'm not an expert. I've only been homeschooling for 4 years, and the takeaway that I receive is that homeschooling will adapt. No, you will adapt to it. You will find your own rhythm. That can be different from other people's, but you will find it kasi you are the perfect parent for that child. And that
Mm,
child is the perfect
nice.
student of yours. Walang ibang maging perfect teacher other than you. So you were made
Mhm.
for that. So if initially medyo madaming sigawan kasi hindi kayo nagkakaintindihan, you will find the rhythm. You will get there. Hindi ka mommy na parang you will read to your children. Akala mo lang 'yun. You will find that parang yung heart mo, 'di ba? They say, how can you have so many kids? How can you love so many kids? But your heart becomes bigger kasi when you have many kids, no? It's not that pinaghahati-hati yung heart mo with the 5 kids, but it becomes bigger. The same with homeschooling. You adapt. Somehow, you will find that rhythm and it will bloom. Ang ganda talaga. Ang ganda. I wish I started with the boys earlier, no? My relationship with the girls now is so different, and the Seton is, I love it. I love the very Catholic curriculum that it provides. And sometimes they have statements like, I want to endure the problems of the world so that, people will be saved. Oh my gosh, parang, ha? Galing sa 8-year-old yun, parang, Lord, take me now. And then, no, I'm not ready yet, Lord. But you know what I'm saying? Parang, ang lalim ng faith nila. And honestly, hindi ako yun. Hindi ako nagbigay nun. But it was just grown into them somehow through our homeschooling journey, and it's not yet done. It's really growing as you go along, no? So ang ganda ng journey. What I suggest, my tip talaga is do it. There's no such thing as I wish I
Take
homeschooled
advantage.
later. Always,
Yeah.
always, I wish I homeschooled earlier.
Oh,
Oh,
wow. Naiyak
beautiful.
naman ako.
Ako rin, nakaloka ako lang, pero naiyak ako. Ano ba
It's
yan?
so nice to hear such passionate words from the both of you, and really, well, when I ask encouraging, this is really encouraging, and very very practical tips from the both of you.
I thought I'm the only
It,
one that wanted to cry, sis.
buti nga nakafocus kay Denise kanina. But it is beautiful. It brings out the best, I guess, in each child, and I guess it also, the
Mm-mm.
growth doesn't only come from your child; it's also in you as a parent. You
Yeah.
learn to grow. You learn along with your child, and I think that's really the beautiful
Yeah.
thing about homeschooling, growing and growing together with your children, even with your spouse.
Yeah.
The rest of the family is something that I think everyone will cherish and will really appreciate. Well, thank you so much, Denise
Thank you
Peña and
so much.
Denise
Sis.
Price.
This has
Thank
been
you.
such
Thank you.
more
So
than
touched.
yes, being more than and being an educational episode. I think more than that, this has really been something that has opened our hearts um, to what homeschooling can be. So thank you, ladies. Thank you to the both of you for blessing us with your time, with your
Mhm.
experience, and with the knowledge and wisdom that you have so far. I'm sure a lot of parents out there, from those that are joining us live today and those that will be seeing this episode many days later and weeks later, will also be blessed with your knowledge and wisdom and the learnings that you have. So thank you. We are blessed to have you tonight. And to all of our guests, rather to all of our viewers, thank you as well for spending this evening. We hope that you were able to learn um, more than tips and tricks on scheduling, more than the type of curriculum that you can do for your children, but what homeschooling can really do for you, and how the title of our show, we always talk about it. Parang it seems so appropriate in all instances when we say to get to the heart of homeschooling. So we hope
True.
tonight that
Mhm.
you learned a little bit more and that you walk away from the episode just a bit better as a person, as a parent, as a homeschooling parent. We hope. If you have other questions, you want to continue the discussion after the show, we are reachable via our Facebook or Instagram pages, as well as our YouTube channel. We are at the Heart of Homeschooling. Please do reach out. We do want to hear from you. Let us know what else you want to learn about this lifestyle, this commitment. And we have a special surprise, actually. We do have a special treat from Miss
Mhm.
Lily Hugs and Miss Lily Mom over here. So we'd like
Yes.
share her Facebook page and where she can be reached. Let's see if I can pull that up for you so people will know where they can reach Mrs. Price over here. So this is Liddy Moms. You can reach Denise here. She also has her Facebook page just for Holy Hugs. These are the pillows slash dolls that my daughters love.
Yeah.
Crazy over so you can reach her over there, and we are actually running a special giveaway with
Mm-hmm.
Denise. For those
Yeah.
that are going to be sharing this episode of our show tonight, we will ask you to please put the hashtag Heart of Homeschooling Show on your post. Please go ahead and share the video to your friends. Make sure that your post is public so that we can see it. And Mrs. Price over there will be giving out these lovely products. I believe some are
Would you?
just about to be launched.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you like to show it? There it is. What's that? You would like? Maybe you can talk a bit
So
about
this is
it.
our prayer book. We have a yeah, prayer guide for kids. I actually made this for my own kids because I wanted to teach them the Angelus and the Regina Celli. But then I said maybe other families also want. Then we have a confession guide and an examination of conscience. And then quickly
Oh,
also we
nice.
just launched Catholic planner stickers. So these are stickers for your planner and for your calendar. We have two kinds,
Nice.
Catholic Life and
Oh,
Liturgical
nice. Yeah.
Calendar. Yeah, so we're so excited. Thank you so much for having Lily Mobs here tonight.
Yeah.
So we
Of
are going to be
course.
giving more details about the giveaway in our Facebook page. So make sure that you check us out over there, and we're going to be linking to Lily Moms and
Mm-hmm.
Holy Hugs as well on our Facebook page, so you know where to find Denise. So make sure you follow us
Mm-hmm.
there. Mrs. Price, I just like the fact that the prayer book is laminated. As I've already thinking about it. Tama
Of
yung idea.
course.
Well, the prayer books we always get like, yeah, I
Kid
totally forgot how it's going
friendly.
on. So yes, we love the
Yeah.
fact. These are
Kid
the things.
friendly. You're right.
Exactly. These are the things that homeschooling parents end up thinking about as they, journey with their children, educating them day to day. So once again, thank you very much, ladies, for blessing us with your time. Partner, do you want to close the show tonight?
Well, okay. So I really learned a lot tonight, and thank you for gracing the show and blessing us with your presence. I am so happy. I've got my own takeaways. I'm sure you mothers out there and you homeschooling parents also have your own takeaways. I'm so blessed to just be in the show. I'm learning as well as you know sharing what we have experienced as well with the other parents. So okay, don't forget to please catch our next episode. We will also be having another episode this month, October, and you can catch us on our Facebook page. We will be launching that, and we will be uploading a little bit more about that in the next few days. But and also on our YouTube and Instagram accounts. So that's Heart of Homeschooling. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a restful weekend. It's a Saturday night. Tomorrow's a Sunday. Everybody's up for resting and taking the day off, and maybe also you moms will also have your day off, and take a break from the work that you do, and take a moment to relax and rest and recharge for the weekend. Okay, back to you, Cher.
Thank you very much, ladies. Thanks once again to all of you. Again, we are so blessed to learn a lot of things. I guess one of my takeaways that our choices as we decide on whether we're going to be homeschooling our kids or not, they have to be governed by faith, not fear. One of the things that Denise Pena did mention, right? Such wonderful, I guess, guidance. It's something to think about. And also, one of the things that I like tonight, right, that kind of resonated with me is that you don't really need to be like a licensed educator to decide to want to homeschool your child. Your child does not
Right.
need another professional. Sabi ni Denise Price, you are the perfect parent, the perfect teacher for your child because you were made to be the parent of that child. I want to cry again, guys. But beautiful learnings from our guests tonight. And we look forward to having more of these episodes where we can share snippets of um, wisdom,
Right.
things that our parents have learned as they journey through this homeschooling life with us, with all of us. thank you so much for spending your weekend with us. We value your time. We value your interest in this in this topic, in this lifestyle. Again, this is for all parents out there that are considering homeschooling and those that are already homeschooling and need some encouragement or inspiration. So, on behalf of all of us here
Mhm.
tonight, thank you so much. We wish you a very, very happy, restful, blessed weekend, everybody. It is a Saturday
Yes.
evening. We hope you have a beautiful Sunday. Thank you, and we will see you next episode. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good
Thanks.
evening.
Good
Bye.
evening. Bye. Thanks.